Alright, so it's 7 o'clock on Monday, August 12th, 2019, and I'll call the meeting to order. And the first thing we'll do is stand for a moment of silent reflection. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Deputy Hendricks.
Yes, the first item in the public meeting, the Lymeric's Farms Limited application. I own shares in that company, so I will be declaring a conflict for that.
Seeing no more, we'll move on to the minutes of the previous meeting, which was July 22nd, 2019. Mover and seconder for those. Okay. Councillor Brody and Councillor McKinnon. Is there any errors or omissions? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Okay, so we just have the one item for the delegation of town events at 7:05. We have our public meeting for Lymeric's Farm Limited at 30229 Central Road, as well as the letter of request for the other for consent application BO4 2019. Moving to the correspondence. Upcoming conferences, seminars, and meetings. Our next regular meeting is Tuesday, September 3rd, and then the 16th and September 24th, which is our public meeting to talk about the Community Hub and Kerwood Park. Item number 1 for correspondence is the Middlesex Workforce Development Partnership initiative to launch Middlesex, the place we call home. Is anyone able to attend? Unfortunately, when they were looking at this, they forgot that AMO was during that time, and a lot of county councillors will not be there. So hopefully some other council members will be able to attend.
I may be able to attend. I have to say the invitation doesn't tell me much, except that it's a workforce development partnership, but I probably can attend that.
I'll look. I'm not employed now, so I'll have more available time.
There we go.
So I'll check out August 20th and confirm with Kathy.
Item number 2 is the Middlesex County Clerks and Treasurers Golf Day, and that's for August 30th. Anyone's interested in attending? Jennifer, are you golfing?
No, I will not be golfing.
And as a treasurer, are you golfing?
No.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then, we'll go on to recommended readings. The first one's from Blue Water Recycling Association. It's the Board of Directors July 2019 meeting notes. Item number 4 is from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. It's the municipal notification letter for the proposed PPS, dated July 22nd, 2019. Item number 5 is from Ralph Cormack, and it's a letter of thanks regarding the Adelaide Metcalfe Sports Day and Barbecue. And I believe Deputy Mayor Hendricks, you were there and gave some greetings at the dinner?
Yes, I did. And gave greetings from the township and reminded the public about the fish fry and about the September 6th, the public meeting about the Kerwood Park, yeah.
Excellent. And I was there earlier in the day when it was still kind of getting set up, and it looked like it was going to be a good day with the fire department there doing some displays, as well as the bounce council and everything else. And Councillor Brody was there, and I'm not sure who else attended from council, but it was good.
Yeah.
Councillor Clark was there.
Yeah.
I was racing 3 horses, so I was unable to attend.
Excellent. So we'll go into the action required items. Item number 6 is from the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario, and that's the 2020 Council Award.
I had 5.
Okay. And then item number 7 is from the Township of McKellar, and it's a resolution regarding municipal amalgamations.
And for support.
Support.
Okay, so mover and seconder for that one. So Councillor McKinnon and Deputy Hendricks, any discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Okay, and the last one is from Enbridge, and it's the proactive notification pipeline maintenance program. Would you support that one, or?
It was just notification, wasn't it, of where they were going to.
Oh, it's just to receive
doing
the report, sorry.
maintenance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so
notification.
we'll move to receive that then.
Yes.
Okay, Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, and then we just need a motion to receive items CC1 to CC6.
So moved.
Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, so we'll move back into our public meeting. So we need a motion to resolve the public meeting to hear zoning bylaw amendment Z08 2019 at Lymericks Farm Limited at 30229 Center Road be opened at 7:06 p.m.
So moved.
Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay.
I shall read for a minute. There's nobody here to discuss it.
I feel like this is not needed to say, but I will say, even though there's no one here. The purpose of the following public hearings for Adelaide Metcalfe Council is to give the members of council as well as the general public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to the application before council this evening. The public is advised that comments expressed and written material presented are a matter of public record available for full disclosure. If a person or a public body files an appeal of decision made this evening to the local planning appeal tribunal without having made a written submission to council, the tribunal may dismiss the appeal. If you wish to be notified of a decision, please submit a written request to the township, and a sign-in sheet has been provided for your convenience. All right, Aaron.
So this zoning bylaw amendment is fairly straightforward. We're looking to implement a condition of consent for B05-2019, which conditionally severed a parcel of land with an area of 0.28 hectares in order to accommodate this disposal of the surplus farm dwelling. So the application proposes to amend the lot to be severed from general agriculture to surplus dwelling in order to recognize the residential use of the lands, as well as the lot to be retained being the remnant farm parcel from general agriculture to agriculture only to prohibit new residential uses on the lands. So all of the policies that we have are in support of these this application. Planning staff support the proposed zone change. I've put together a bylaw for your consideration this evening. Consultation was circulated as per the requirements of the Planning Act. We received no comments from either agencies or from the public itself. So my recommendation this evening is that application for zoning bylaw amendment Z08-2019 be approved. And further that council proceed with the first and second reading of the implementing bylaw with the final reading to be provided once the deposited reference plan has been received to the satisfaction of the township.
Okay. Is there anyone in the public wishing to speak to this application? Seeing none. Any council members have any questions or comments? No? Okay, so we need a motion then to resolve the public meeting for hearing zoning bylaw amendment Z08-2019 be closed at 7:09 p.m. Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And we have the recommendation for approval.
So moved.
Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Alrighty, so next we have the letter of request regarding consent application B04-2019. And I can't remember your name, I'm sorry.
Monique.
Okay. If you want, you can forward to the seat there. I'm assuming you're representing your parents tonight?
Yeah.
Alright. May as well come forward into the hot seat. Make it, make it official. Okay. Aaron?
Sure, thank you. So the township is in receipt of a request from Mr. Warren Benedict regarding a change to condition number 3 for application for consent B04 of this year, which was conditionally approved by the Committee of Adjustment on March 18th of this year. So again, if council remembers, it was considered sort of a reverse severance where the farmland itself was being severed and sold to a bona fide farmer, and the landowner was retaining the severed house. So Mr. Benedict is requesting that condition number 3 be changed from just simply Bencrest Farms, Inc., to add Lauren A. Benedict as a transferee, so the property does not merge with this adjacent lands to the west. So the consent has already gone through its rezoning as well, and planning staff are satisfied that this amendment would not impact the application in its intent or affect any of the policies as they are in our official plan, nor does it impact zoning at all. So staff are supportive of the change, and we have deemed it to be minor in nature, so we did not recirculate the application public notice, simply for that reason that it was considered minor. So my recommendation this evening is that his request be accepted, and condition number 3 of consent B04 be changed to the following. Number 3, that the lands to be conveyed be transferred to Bencrest Farms Inc. and Lauren A. Benedict to ensure their consolidation with their farming operation.
Okay, thank you, Erin. Neat, do your parents send you with any words you wanted to say? No? Alright, is there any questions or comments from council? So the recommendation in front of us, if somebody wants to move that. Okay. Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Alrighty. Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you, Erin. That was
Your report is like it goes as quickly.
okay, let's move on to staff reports, and our first one is from our Public Works Manager, Jeff Lowe.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My first report is an information report, bridge inspection report. Inspections are done every 2 years on any bridge or culvert that's over 2.8 meters in length. So, Township of Adelaide Metcalfe has 14 bridges and 37 culverts that require this biannual inspection. In 2018, the assessment was conducted by Spirits Associates. The inspection documents have been delivered to the township, and in those documents, they inspect the structural condition of all the bridges and culverts on the list. The list then recommends maintenance, repair, improvement, or replacement as part of the assessment. And this provides the township with a short-term and a long-term planning need. So in summary of the report, or in summary of the inspection, it outlines one culvert for replacement, a number of needed repairs, and a lot of recommended upgrades over the next 5 years. The culvert replacement is on Wilson Road. The replacement was picked up by the previous inspection. Spirits are in the process of doing engineering on the pipe replacement and the road upgrades. This project is estimated at $100,000. The needed repairs are very minor, with an overall estimated budget number of $52,000 over 5 years. A lot of this is shrub trees removal, a little bit of concrete repairs, stuff like that. So in the grand scheme of things, they're very minor in nature. And then the recommended upgrades at this point will be reviewed and looked at in the next inspection in 2020. A lot of those upgrades are guardrail, guard wire on a lot of the back roads, culverts and that sort of thing, because pretty much, if I'm not correct, pretty much every bridge except the bridge over at Melwood, which is actually a county bridge, we have guardrail on. So we're well ahead of the curve on a lot of our bridges. So Spirits have now started looking at our culverts and seeing whether we should be putting guardrail on them. So at this point, I think we worry about the repairs and the replacement, and the upgrades we can look at as they come through. The one important change noted in this inspection from 2016 to 2018 had to do with Bridge 10, and I think we've already mentioned the Napier Bridge. The inspection indicated that the bridge will have to be replaced at some point in the future. Spreeds are currently doing a more detailed study to determine replacement cost, type, and timeline for the township. So what they're going to come back with a report that we can talk about the Napier Bridge and where we want to go with it. So, but yeah, it showed signs of deterioration this time around. So there's no concern that it has to be closed now, but I think for future planning, I think we have to be aware of where that bridge is going in the future. So the replacement of structures is a capital cost and will be further reviewed in the township's 5 and 10-year plans in relation to asset management. Needed repairs are accounted for in the annual operational budget, so which is quite common. So the recommendation, the council accepts the bridge inspection report as presented by myself, the public works manager. And just a little bit of follow-up in terms, our bridges are in really good shape. The needed repairs are, again, just repeating myself, are minor in nature, and it's meant just to keep them in good shape as we are. So
That's good to hear. Okay. We'll move on to seconder for the report. Councilor Brody and Deputy Hendricks. Is there any discussion at all? Deputy Hendricks?
Just a question, the bridge on Wilson, is that the one close to Townsend, the great big culvert?
no, it's actually closer to the Langdon. It's the one that's, if you were to go up and turn north off of Langdon, it's the first box culvert right in the hole. It's really narrow, and actually the stream comes up and has to veer, I want to say at a 90, but it actually has to turn by hitting the cement bridge abutment and turning and going across the road. So that bridge abutment is falling in and needs further work. So to make the whole thing work better, they're going to skew the culvert a little bit so the water doesn't have to make a 90, and then we can expand the road up there.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried.
Okay. My second report tonight is the Kerwood sidewalk replacement report. Council requested a report from staff on the replacement costs of the remaining 600-meter sidewalk in the village of Kerwood that has not been done. The 600 meters does not currently meet the Ontario standard width requirement and has numerous minimum maintenance standard issues. Background, in 2016, a cost estimate of replacing sidewalk was received by the township for budget planning at $140 per meter, so meter length is where we're going with that. So a summary, I think everybody knows the 3 sections. So in summary, I contacted 4 contractors. 2 of them submitted contract quotes for me. The first one was Autoform Contracting. The quote was for $76,124, which works out to be $126.88 per meter. Dufferin Construction also quoted the job, and they came in at $104,375, which works out to be $173.95 per meter. For the sidewalks to be replaced, to move ahead with this, the township needs to submit plans to the Accessibility Advisory Committee at the county level. This will have to take place shortly. Included in those plans will be the need for a rest station on each side of the road. This is a requirement under the public space standards. The benches are not included in this cost. The cost that I have in the report tonight is for the sidewalk to be taken out and to be replaced with the ductile plates in for at the end. So the benches or anything else would be an extra cost. It is recommended to accept the Autoform's quote and secure them to replace the Kerwood sidewalks this year. Installations of the benches could take place in 2020 after we get the sidewalks in and get that moving. The financial impact, if we do move ahead, the Kerwood sidewalk replacement financial impact of $76,124 plus HST. We could use, like we've talked about before, the Main Street Initiative Fund, and the remainder will become covered under the Public Works operational budget, which a large portion of that, we do keep a miscellaneous construction portion, and it's in the budget exactly for this stuff that pops up that that is unforeseen at budget time. So. And again, the quotes determine the cost of the benches, and the cost could be put in the 2020 budget. So my recommendation is all the council direct staff to proceed with the replacement of the sidewalks in Kerwood as defined by the Kerwood Sidewalk Replacement Report as presented by myself, the Public Works Manager.
Okay. It's first I've moved and seconded just for the report. Councilor Brody and Deputy Mayor Hendricks. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay. Questions? Deputy Mayor Hendricks.
I like the idea of waiting with the benches. I think if you look at the benches in Strathroy and a lot of places, they have people who sponsor them, and it's an opportunity for people to
Even service clubs.
service clubs
Plus
or
private
businesses in the area that
Mhm.
might be willing to subsidize that substantially. So, and I did when I was there for the Optimist event. I did notice there are some sidewalks there that could definitely. I wouldn't want to try and roll a wheelchair down them. I can walk on them, but.
Councilor Brody.
Just a comment, but, you know, I think we need to go ahead with this. The funds are there from the initiative fund. They may not come again, so.
Okay. Just one question that I had. With the sidewalks, is the idea for the construction to be right along the curb, or will there be a section of grass or like hard surface something? Because I'm just thinking about the whole landscaping along the main street there.
So in this quote, the sidewalks are to go back where the sidewalks are now, but with the regular width. So they're actually going to expand towards the curb because there's enough room between the existing sidewalk and the hydro poles that are there now. So then from the rest of the boulevard to the curb, will continue to be grass where it's grass, and the quote is quote where pavement is we will put pavement back in.
Okay.
So that's open. I talked to Kathy about that. There is some changes going on there because it is paved where the old I guess
TD.
bank or where that's going to come down. That's all paved in there. So in the quote is to repave that. Whether we decide to do that, that's up. We can take that back and put it back to grass if we deem that, and that would be a savings. Again, that would lower the cost some. But I just wanted to make sure that we were replacing whatever comes out. The quote is for replacing what's there. So is that?
Yeah, that's I just want to know. And the other thing was there's the construction at the old TD Bank lot. I believe there's a house going up there. Just making sure that just timeline of sidewalk and construction there. I want to make sure that we don't put a sidewalk in and then something goes across it and tears it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the past, what we've done is we can miss it, and because with all the heavy equipment going in and out, they usually like to put a gravel base down there anyways. You'd have to be in agreement with the contractor who's looking after it, that don't wreck the stuff that's there, but we'll leave out the laneway slab and it can be put back in at the time.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Is there any other questions? Seeing none, I move on to seconder for the recommendation. Deputy Mayor Hendricks and Councilor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Mayor, the third report is an information report. I just wanted to bring council up to date on the Public Works Department. Walker's Drive construction project now has been hard surfaced. I'm extremely happy with the way it's turned out. Marjan's has done a pretty decent job down there. The remaining activity is to put topsoil around the houses, and at some point at the end of August, a tarn-chip sealant will be applied across the reclaimed asphalt that's down there right now. Both of these activities, it says it'll take place in September, but I've been contacted by the resurfacing company. They're hoping to start next week. So although we'll probably start in the north end and do the resurfacing, and Walker's will be the last job they'll do at the far end, just so it has time to cure down there, but it looks like everything's falling in line. Again, the number two, the resurfacing program will begin. They're supposed to be coming in on August the 19th. Number three, the work at the Kerwood Park has started. We got the ball diamonds leveled up. It took a lot more chip and dust than I thought. The main diamond was out of whack pretty good, so the guys did a good job and got it all leveled up. We've got the playground equipment cleaned. We pressure washed the playground equipment, had to scrub a few spots here and there, but it came up really nice. I don't know if everybody remembers during our tour, you can see the black streaks. They actually came off. It actually looks pretty good. So it worked out pretty good. So we still got to expand the parking lot, and we still got to do a little work around the first base dugout to get the bench back in there. So still on the list to do. Number four, the grass cutting has started again on the second grass cutting has started again. I think with the growing season, the weeds are big, especially up north here. We didn't spray. They're looking pretty shaggy up here, so we're started our second round. Usually that doesn't start till September the 1st. We're a couple of weeks ahead of the time. Traffic counts have been completed. We'll get that entered into the computer, and now we have 2 years worth of data. Again, if any of the councillors wish to see any of the data, the roads, it is available at the office. So it's kind of nice to start getting year after year, so we can kind of see the trends there. There was nothing out of strange. Pike and the two blocks on Pike and Mulferry from Center to Pike are still our busiest roads. They're still running roughly 1,500 cars a day there. So number 6, the township entrance signs are in. They're waiting to be put up, so in the next little while they'll start to go up. We're going to put up the ones that are existing. So if you see a sign out there right now, that's going to be our start. Those signs are going to be replaced, and we'll get those up shortly. Other than that, all the maintenance and construction activities that I'm talking about are covered in the Public Works budget, so there's really no financial impact other than the budget that's already been approved. So the recommendation is all that council accepts this information report as prepared by myself, the Public Works Manager.
Okay, is there any questions at all?
Or just asking about the spray. Did we spray half the township this year? Is that what we ended up
We ended up, Mr. Mayor, we sprayed half the township today. Yeah, for the budget, it worked better out for the budget to do half, so then we'll do the next half next year.
Councilor Kennedy?
Just clarification through you, Mayor Curtis, to Jeff. The signs that are being replaced are the former Township of Adelaide white signs with the big green printing. We're not replacing the county signs as well.
No, just our
the
ones that council approved.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions? Okay, mover and seconder to resolve that council receive the Public Works information report prepared by the Public Works Manager. Okay, Councilor Brody and Councilor McKinnon, and before we take it to a vote, I just want to say, since it's public knowledge, thank you so much for all the hard work you've done for the last 2 years for Adelaide Metcalfe. It's a lot of changes that happened in the last couple of years since you've been here, and it's greatly appreciated. And I just want to thank you, and I think everybody around the Horseshoe and in the municipality will very much miss you being in Adelaide Metcalfe, but we know you're not too far away over in Lukenbadolf.
And I just, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say I've had nothing but wonderful working with everybody, staff, the office, Kathy, Jennifer, Jeff, Jim, Aaron, the girls Karen and Donna Jessica have been great. The guys out on the road, couldn't ask for 4 guys to work with. And council, including Gerald and Nick from previous council, excellent. I appreciate everybody's support, and you know, it was one of the toughest decisions I made. I just had to weigh a couple of personal items, and my decision was more personal than it was professional. So I'm going to miss you guys. And I said to Kathy, I'll more than happy. I'm going to make sure everything's running smoothly before I leave, and leave her lots of information. And if in the future, if I need to come back, and I'm more than happy to do that. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. All those in favor for Jeff Little's last report as Public Works Manager? That's approved. Alrighty. Okay, you gotta stay. Alrighty, we'll go to our next staff report. Our clerks, Jennifer Turk.
Thanks, Mayor Smith. This is the monthly report for bylaw enforcement. So as you see there, we received 2 more complaints in July. One is under investigation, and one, the investigation has been completed and a letter was submitted to the property owner. And we currently still have, nothing has been closed at this point in time. We're still waiting for the contractor to come in to look after the property stairs complaint that came in June.
Okay, move on seconder for the report. Councillor Kinnan and Councillor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay. Our next staff report is from our CEO Treasurer, Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. I will add in regards to the bylaw enforcement report, the contractor is on site in Kerwood now, and I expect to have it down shortly. He was waiting for some fencing, and it's in place now.
See a big backhoe in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my first report is the invoice payment approval listing for the period July 20th, 2019 to August 8th, 2019 in the amount of $165,184.49.
Is there any questions on the accounts? Okay, move on seconder for approval. Deputy Hendricks and Councillor Brody. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried.
The next report was on your desk this evening, and it was a financial report including the July payroll.
Is there any questions at all on that report? Move on seconder to resolve that council received the financial report including the July payroll as presented by the CAO Treasurer. Councillor Kinnan and Deputy Hendricks. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried.
The next report is in regards to a tender that was issued. Council approved the purchase of a work truck for the roads department in the 2019 budget. Quote 09-2019 for a 4x2 cab chassis truck with an option for a full-size 4x4 cab chassis truck and an option to supply a diesel motor, closed on Wednesday, July 31st, 2019 at 3 p.m. The results of the quote is attached. The approved quote is incorporated into the 2019 budget where appropriate, and that would be in the roads department. So we received a quote from Mount Bridges Ford Sales, a 4x2 cab chassis, $37,550 plus HST, a 4x4 cab chassis, $41,550 from McDonald Motors, a 4x2 cab chassis, $37,277 plus HST, and a 4x4 cab chassis, $41,138 plus HST, and Larry McDonald, a 4x2 cab chassis, $35,683 plus HST, a 4x4 cab chassis, $38,571 plus HST. Unfortunately, the quote from Larry McDonald did not meet the tender specification of the GVR of 7,200 kilograms. The diesel option was not included in the report as it was just too costly to go to a diesel. It was approximately $10,000 more, so it was not feasible at this point in time. The 4x4 option was included. The extra cost at purchase creates a considerable value upon resale. And the recommendation is that council accept the quote from McDonald Motors for a 4x4 cab chassis in the amount of $41,138 plus HST as recommended by the Public Works Manager.
Okay, any questions? Just one, because Kathy said that the diesel option was not included. So we tendered for it, but
It was an option to
Yeah.
increase the, instead of having the standard motor to,
Yeah.
option was to have the diesel motor.
okay, you said
In addition to those costs,
and it was $10,000 more.
or approximately, I think,
Yeah.
they range from just under 9 to 12, I think they were, yes.
Councilor Brody?
So this quote, we're coming in 20,000 below budget.
Mr. Mayor, this is just the chassis, the cabin chassis,
Yeah.
so that we still have to do the fabrication, which I've been in contact with Commander, a business in our own municipality, so, I'm getting them to give us a quote on putting the box on. So the box itself will come out, so it'll come out close to the $60,000, so,
Just a comment though, the resale on a diesel would be hugely better than a gasser. So
And fuel consumption.
to me, $9,000 or $10,000 is not a range for a diesel compared to gas.
that, Mr. Mayor, that will put us over budget, and the reason why it wasn't included, because of that reason.
Okay. Councilor McKinnon?
Going along with Mike's theory, if we went from the 4x4 back to the 4x2 and went diesel, would that fall within our budget? It's not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
You need a four-wheel drive, especially on the job site.
Oh, okay.
And for the resale value, Mr. Mayor, I've been to the auctions, the 4x4s resell, two-wheel drive, whether it's a pickup truck or a work truck,
Not as good.
are definitely not as good, so.
Thank you.
And my comment was kind of similar to that, is the resale value, and would you expect to have a diesel last, have a longer lifetime than a gas, or is it about the same life cycle?
I certainly wouldn't go out on them and say longer, because most of our equipment is the beating going up and down the roads on the body, on the sand and salt. That beats our equipment rather than the motors. But at the same time, I just don't know how much the resale value of diesel will offset the $9,000. That's something I know
Yeah.
4x4 for sure. I can't sit here and say we can get that diesel back. That's the reason it's not there.
Okay, so we have the recommendation in front of us, which is resolved the council accept the quote from General Motors for the 4x4 cab chassis in the amount of $41,138 plus HST as recommended by the Public Works Manager. We were seconded for that. Councilor Brody, and seconded by Councilor McKinnon. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Councilor Brody?
Just one question, Mr. Mayor. It's the same color as like we always go with red.
Yes, it'll look exactly, yeah.
I figured as much as
I thought you were going to ask if we were going to switch it up, because I've been asking that for the last 8 years.
Every time you see a red truck, you know it belongs to somebody's municipality.
I was just hoping somebody would come along saying we need to switch the color from red to something else, but no, not yet. Even a couple more years.
There's red's picked because it's a standard color.
Yeah. Alrighty. Kathy, is there anything else at all?
No.
Okay. Do we have anything for other business? Councilor Brody?
Just had a call from ratepayer, concerned ratepayer, so it's an I believe it's a county bylaw issue, about a severance. I don't know how do I put this? So in the severance, you used to be able to give more, you gave more road allowance for the house portion. Now they want to take away, for future expansion on a road that may never, an acre away of farmland, all the way across. Is this something that the county just passed without our township? Like, is this before I was around or anything? Or is this just the county has passed this, or maybe I don't know?
It was the previous time.
It's actually been in place for quite some time with the county. They haven't been bringing it forward on a lot of severances. In the last term of council, once the new county council took over, it was decided that that should be in effect so that they don't have these hassles when they go to expand their road allowances. It was circulated on this council's agenda in January or February this year to notify you of that change.
Okay. Maybe I missed that, but to lose a lot of land is, I don't know if I'd be a very happy ratepayer either, to be very honest.
You don't lose it till they expand the road.
And,
You can farm it till then.
and
Well, yeah, but on paper, on your asset, you do not own that
That's true.
1 acre less, right? And that's anymore substantial, very substantial. So they may never use that, and they're taking away an acre of your thing. Basically, his lawyer says he's never seen this anywhere. He's from Windsor, so it's an issue. I just thought I'd bring it up.
so the flip side of that is if you look at if the county was to expand a road or to widen a road or whatever it would be, no matter if it's in next year, 20 years, or 30 years from now, it's the process of the expropriation of that land, and that's going to cost millions of dollars. And in Tennis Center, that actually happened recently. They're expanding a road down there, and the county ratepayers are paying more than, I think it's $1 or $2 million in taking that, it was a couple, whatever, however wide it is, along the frontage of those properties. So the fact is that yes, it is unfortunate, but at the same time, if you're also looking at when there's a severance done, if it was just on the severed portion or the retained portion, whatever it is, then you have a road allowance that has jobs in and out. And then in the future, when that road goes to be expanding and then the county then has to purchase that land, it's going to cost everyone a lot more money than it would be if it was done at once. And at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where if somebody wants to have that severance, it's now the checkbox that they have to do that.
But in turn back, the county's gonna have to buy it from all the other people that didn't give them the land at the time, so it's still gonna be a cost to the county, no matter what.
But this is
This
the
might
point.
be one property out of 50,
Mhm.
and this guy has to lose an acre already, and the rest of the 50 may never, if
If they don't do a severance.
right?
Yeah.
So I was a little shocked when I heard that rule. I can't say that I actually agree with it.
It's just one of those things where it's just unfortunate that severance happened now after that policy is now being in effect compared to before. So, okay, is there anything else for other business? Seeing none, before we go into the closed session, I said yes to having a recess to allow our neighborhood-friendly reporter to have an interview process, so then he doesn't have to wait for a number of minutes or hours. So we can just have a 5-minute recess, please. Mover and seconder. Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor, opposed, and that's carried.
I'm really glad that went through. It's gone
So we have a motion to reconvene. Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor, opposed, and that's carried. And then a motion to go into closed session under 239 2E, D, and C of the Municipal Act at 7:50. Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor, opposed, and that's carried. Okay, so we just ended our closed session at 8:20, and we just have a couple items for the Radisson report. And the first one is to resolve that council direct staff to proceed as discussed in closed session. Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor, opposed, and that's carried. These two.
Yep.
Okay, and the next two are resolved that the resignation of Jeff Little from the Public Works Manager position be received with regret. Okay, Councilor McKinnon and Deputy Mayor Hendricks, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And resolved that Council approve the Public Works Manager exit program report as presented. Okay, Deputy Mayor Hendricks and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. Okay, if there's nothing else, we just have our bylaws, and the first one is resolved that the third and final reading be given to bylaw number 29 of 2019, zoning bylaw amendment Z03 2019 for Dennings, and that the bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and the corporate seal be attached. Okay. Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody, all those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And finally resolved that all three readings be given to bylaw number 57 of 2019, zoning bylaw amendment for Z08 2019, and bylaw number 59 of 2019, confirm council proceedings, and that the bylaws be signed by the mayor, clerk, and the corporate seal be attached. Who moved and seconded that? I just want to make sure I didn't say Deputy Mayor Hendricks.
The one before? Was
No, this
McKinnon and
one right
Brody?
here. Did I not ask for a mover and
No,
seconder?
yeah,
Okay.
just for that one.
Councilor McKinnon and Councilor Brody. Sorry, in my head I was thinking we can't have Deputy Mayor Hendricks
That's right.
move or second that one. All those in favor? Opposed, and that's carried. And resolved the meeting be adjourned at 8:25. Deputy Mayor Hendricks and Councilor Brody.